I really need a haircut. Just a heads up for this particular video, rather than having one video on one small part, this video's kind of more chronological, taking different videos, different days. So if you watch closely, this top's probably going to disappear and turn into a red hoodie, probably a super dry one. So we're back here in sunny Ireland. Actually, that's a lie, it's really not sunny at all. The weather, a bird just flew out of my shed. Last time I was working on the Sierra, or took a video of the Sierra, had talked about how I was going to change my Omega Gearbox to a BMW ZF box. So since that, I have managed to get myself an adapter plate, a spacer for the input shaft on the BMW box. I managed to get myself a BMW ZF box out of a 328, which I believe is also the same as a 3-litre E36 N3, and they're supposed to take good power, and I know a couple of other guys who have ran these same boxes and they do take good power, so fingers crossed. On first glance, things are actually looking pretty good. So what I've done is I have an adapter plate, which is why this is sitting back. I want to kind of compare the two lengths. Now, this isn't exactly very scientific the way I'm doing this, but if I take this bar and run across, the Omega box works out at about the same length as the ZF box with the adapter plate on, which means that I shouldn't have to get my prop modified, which was one of my primary concerns that I spoke about. Another piece of the puzzle, when I ran my Omega gearbox, I had to get, well, didn't have to get, chose to run an adapter piece which converted the tripod to a universal flange for my prop shaft. Now, this is the adapter I had made for my Omega box, and it lines up perfectly with the BMW box. So I am pretty buzzing about that. So that's a bit more dollar saved as well. So I put the ZF box and sort of lined it up with the adapter to make sure the adapter is definitely the right fit, which it is. But anyone who's ever done a sort of a gearbox conversion, or at least I like to think anyone who's ever done a gearbox conversion will find it difficult to line up. So saying as half my engine is already missing anyway, because it's all over here from the last video, I think I'm just going to lift this up and rip the engine out. So something else I'm going to do while I'm taking the engine out, I think I'm going to change this all to red, because most of the boost pipes and all in my car, the connecting hoses are all red, so the blue just looks out of place. There's no other blue on my car. Didn't take long to start pulling the engine out of this thing when you've done it, I suppose, about 45 times like I have. I hope this is going to be the last, because this engine's not going in until everything's on right. And there's like wee small bits, like for instance, there's bits of like, I get this on, never really get around to painting it, and I'm using chains to lift the engine this time and not a seatbelt. Those that know me know that didn't end well for me last time. So if we actually take another look here at my sump, as you can see it's a wink sump, which means essentially it comes out at either side. I run a front bowl because the pickup is pretty much in the same position as it would be in the normal engine, so it has a short distance to travel to the actual oil pump, which is obviously up in here. MFs be like, I'm just going to stick a few layers of paint on it, I'm not going to bother prepping it down correctly. That is me. I'm MFs, and it well and truly shows. You may feel like a dick for wearing safety goggles, but take it from me, when you're sitting in the hospital with crippling eye pain because you've got metal in your eye, it's not cool.
one of the most important bits about my car, for me anyway, is getting that front camber. Sierras in a general, old Fords in general, aren't known for really getting good fitting wheels at the front because of the way the strut's set up. So I had to make my own version, which I was happy enough with. You can buy aftermarket versions, but they're like £200 or something. Not a chance. What I initially did was I bought a set of BMW E36 camber adjustable strut tops. Now, the BMW version only has a PCD, i.e. this pitch circular diameter of 105mm. The Ford needed to be at least 140. So what I did was I took the actual strut top bearing out and measured up the sizes, drew up a plate on a CAD and got it machined out by a friend, Phil Moore, in England. And yeah, came back, realised I didn't get enough camber, so ended up getting a local fabricator down the road, Brian Gordon, to help me out with a little bit more. And yeah, it turned out really well, in my opinion. Also got a set of adjustable lower control arms that my friend Stephen was selling out of a drift car, and I have compression struts as well for caster adjustability. At this point I have no idea what day it even is. Is it Friday? Saturday? I'm still just working at this. You may notice now Calvin's car is gone. That's just because he simply got sick of not being able to see it and work on it, and I honestly do not blame him one bit. So it's away. I have more room for activities.